Hello, Think Natalia community. Today, I want to introduce you to another phenomenal human being, somebody who is high on energy, somebody who is at least as edutaining as I am, and he uses his energy, his art in a field that absolutely needs it. So, Ray, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Natalia. Great to be here.
For everybody who sees your face for the first time, like, what's this Raymond doing? So, what is it that you do?
So my name is Ray Langan. My program is called Raise the Game. So I have created the most edutaining, the #1 motivational study skills program in the world. So the reason that I get the phone call is typically from a school or a parent, but typically schools, and they want a study skills program, but they want motivation. So they have students in school who are struggling with obviously passing exams, how to study, and the big thing is motivation. So my program, Raise the Game, solves that problem. And over the last 5 years, we've had 50,000 students go through the program.
Damn! That is an impressive number. And how old are the students approximately?
So I work with teenagers. So I am a Gen Z edutainer. And part of the benefit of coming into the Think Natalia Tribe was it helped me, refine exactly who I am, the personal brand. And I work with teenagers who, not for the faint-hearted. So between typically 13 and 18, high school, or what we call in Ireland, secondary school, and typically teenagers. And to work with teenagers obviously takes a certain skill set. Let's just put it that way. A skill set I wasn't aware of, but I seem to do it well, and people like what I do.
Amazing. And do you do that only in Ireland, or is that a concept that can be also used, for example, in Germany and France and Poland and, I don't know, Australia, Latin America? How does it work?
Yes, I've worked in international schools, and it was interesting. It was probably about 2015. I delivered a program in Luxembourg, and part of me, I remember going onto the stage and thinking, is this going to fly? Am I going to fly with Swedish students or German students or French students and Spanish students? But yes, it works. It's international. Big problem for teenagers, whether you're in Germany, France, Switzerland, wherever, is they got to pass their exams. They got to get through this thing called secondary school, and they're not motivated. And that's what I actually do.
Okay, got it. So why did you initially approach us? What was the challenge, or what did you want to achieve with LinkedIn or with your brand in total?
I suppose it was partially contextual. So a big challenge, it was about this time last year, was lockdown. And we were in lockdown, everyone was in lockdown, and obviously COVID was having this massive impact all over the world. And a big problem was reaching into to schools, to students. Typically, the traditional way I would do that is to print out a brochure, send it into a school. Somebody would respond to that, so direct response in a physical way. But I started seeing your ads, this LinkedIn marketing unicorn popping up on Facebook. And I loved the energy. I loved what you did. And I thought, is there a better way of doing this through LinkedIn? Also, I was about to launch a product called Raise the Game 360. And I thought maybe this is an alternative way of marketing and reaching out. And another part of the appeal was being in lockdown. It was very isolating. And part of the group coaching kind of format, that was appealing because, again, it was a very lonely and solitary time, as any business person stuck in an office all day on your own at home. So that was another driver.
Thanks for sharing. Do you remember your first milestone on LinkedIn, or the first moment when you felt successful in the sense like, that's how it works, or it works?
Well, I think a big thing that helped me was the edutainment piece. And, what I remember is being on your calls. And I remember one morning, and I did all the way during lockdown last year, these dips in the Irish Ocean, really cold. And where I was jumping into the sea, and I remember one Saturday morning, get a notification 10 minutes before your call started. And I literally plunged in the ocean, jumped in the car, drove home. And I just got on the calls because I loved your energy, the edutainment part. And I was able to bring that into my work. So I can't say there was one specific milestone where I thought, this is everything is working. I saw it as a gradual process. but definitely I upped my game, my energy for my own programs and also my own advertising and direct marketing.
Beautiful. You said that you love the energy of the tribe. So were there any kind of collaborations that started, friendships, referrals? Could you get inspired? Could you maybe take a concept of another industry and adapt it for yours, or maybe a specific business system that you thought like, oh, that also works, and then implemented that into your way of doing business?
Well, what I remember is obviously it's very interesting seeing you work with 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people on a call, and you start to see the patterns of that and how you can apply it into your own program. So I can't say there was any direct collaborations, because obviously my work is directly into schools, but it was very interesting to see, thought leaders and different people developing themselves, and the struggles, their real-time struggles, and how they were overcoming those. But what I found the benefit again of the group coaching format was, again, you're working on your own all week and suddenly you're into a call. And I found specifically as well during the lockdown thing, that was helpful. That energy, that kind of hour or two per week was really, you came away afterwards because it was such a hard and difficult time. It was a really dull time. But I found going through the program, that was very helpful with everybody else. Yeah.
And as you said, I mean, the people on the call, they all chose to be there, and they're interested, and they want to grow, and they want to understand LinkedIn, how to get their brand to the next level. So I think you were a perfect fit with your questions, with your energy, and with your way of perceiving the world. So thanks for that. I remember that you went through a repositioning and got more clarity on who you are and who your target audience is, and how you want to present yourself, and how crazy can you be, and what's your trademark. And once you get clarity on that, you translated that onto your LinkedIn profile. And what happened after that?
Well, the really cool thing is, and we played around with this concept of the study skills stormtrooper. So as a kid, everybody knows Star Wars, right? So, I was a Star Wars fan like everyone else. Wasn't a fanatic, but a fan. I mean, everybody loves. So I started playing around with this concept, and where I got that, I was looking at the LinkedIn marketing unicorn and kind of playing with different characters. And when you look at your competition, I'm a big fan of the book, The Blue Ocean Strategy. You look at your competition and you try to separate yourself from the competition. I found, the injection of this character was a lot of fun. And the profile sharpening on my page really, really, really helped, because my page was terrible beforehand. And what I did notice was a lot more teachers, guidance counselors, principals, deputy principals, different educators, therapists. I'm also a qualified psychotherapist as well. They all started showing up on my page. So where the benefit of the program for me was, I had an ultra slick page that gave me tremendous authority in my space. And I definitely noticed more inbound, inquiries after that, because suddenly you've got this authority piece. And when you type into Google your name, the first thing that shows up is LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
So suddenly I've got this authority piece outside of my website, and that gave me tremendous positioning.
And what I also really, really admire about you is that you experimented with so many ways how to develop new programs, new products for different target audiences. Can I upsell that? Can I create a masterclass out of that? What about this? Can I make a workbook out of this? You recorded videos. You were a machine when it comes to what else can I do to add more value? And you were zero afraid of experimenting with that and doing that and that and that and that, testing it. It works, fantastic. It doesn't work. Okay, what can I learn from it? So tell us a little bit more about this process and this mindset, because I think it's highly inspiring for people who might be afraid and who might think, I need to know everything first, and then I create a theoretical concept. You're the person who, okay, got it. You run and do, and then you learn along the way, which again, I find incredible. And I think we need more people like you.
Well, thank you for that. And I think in the time that I was with you about a year ago, I created, a group coaching program. I created a product that schools can buy. I created a different variation of a one-to-one program. So I'll give you a simple example. I remember, it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I was watching TV in Ireland, a current affairs program, and they were all talking about cyberbullying and bullying of teenagers. And I remember thinking, I should have an opinion on this. I speak to teenagers. I put up a post on Facebook. Maybe 15 people commented on it. And I thought, this has energy. And I rang a guidance counselor the next day and I said, hey, if I create a program on cyberbullying, would you put it on next week? And he said, yeah, absolutely. Would you trial it with your students? And he said, cool, yeah. And there's a year in Ireland in secondary school called transition year. And it's not an exam year. It's a year that they do work experience and they set up businesses and volunteer work. And it's a really cool year. So he works with transition year students. And I remember thinking afterwards, I don't have a clue about cyberbullying. I don't have a clue about Facebook and settings and Instagram settings and safety. But what I do know is emotional intelligence. I'm also a qualified psychotherapist. I know how to help a teenager who, if somebody calls them a fat you-know-what, or you're ugly, and you're this, and you're that, because it all goes off. And I know from working privately with students, how can I create a different response to that? Yeah. So I created a program from an emotional intelligence perspective, and we ran it the next week. And it was an absolute smash. And within a year after that, I had 5,000 students go through that program. We call it game on, game over. Because if you know how to use this, it's game on. If you don't know how to use this, you send the wrong message, tweet, put up the wrong picture, it's game over for your life and career. And it was an absolute smash. And the point that I'm making out of that is you try things, you experiment with things. And, last week or the week before, I tried a different product. And it's not flying for me. But the cool thing is using LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you can test things. And I think you have to keep testing the waters, testing different products to see. And that's how you grow your business. That's how you grow yourself and keep the whole thing interesting.
Oh, again, very, very powerful. Thanks for sharing. What is let's say the thing that you're most proud of that you have developed, an aspect of you, the biggest inner transformation, outer transformation that you went through over the last year or so? Did we already talk about it? Or is it another aspect where you say, just that thing might be something small, but it made a huge difference in how you feel, how you work, how you act? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about this, to have more fun. Yeah. I think in this world of business and entrepreneurship and this incessant kind of drive for more, and this is what I loved about working with you and the edutainment piece, is that if I'm not having fun, no one else is having fun. And it's so easy to get caught up on the treadmill. And, what I've been trying to do more of is to reflect on where am I having fun? And I think that's a big thing out of coming on the back end of COVID, is that we're coming out the other side, really kind of looking at, again, that inner piece of trying to enjoy, trying to be in present more. If that's helpful, because
yes.
I've just come out of a year of 100 schools, another 20,000 students, and sometimes it can be this treadmill of work. And what I'm trying to do more of is almost less, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. Less but better. I'm a huge fan of that.
And the really cool thing is, what I'm really proud of, and you asked me about this, is that, like everybody 2 years ago, when they came on the TV and said, you cannot leave your house, you cannot go anywhere, you can't do, I thought, do I have a business? I mean, I'm a professional speaker. I go to a school and deliver an event. I'm in the event space. Mm-hmm. And very quickly, I had to rethink my whole business. And I had to, and I was very lucky. I got a phone call from a principal of a school that I know, and he said, hey, could you put on a program for my primary school students? Because I have no anything for my last term. And he said, but you have a study skills program and you have an anxiety program. You are my last term. And I ran it with, I don't know, maybe 20 classes. And that gave me experience fast on Zoom, because like everybody, I was like looking at Zoom, kind of going, how do I
How does
use
this work?
Imagine, and suddenly just even letting 6, 8, 10, 15 people. I remember looking at a guy who had a whiteboard on a class in a guide on it. I remember going, that's like something from outer space, trying to, and I went and bought a whiteboard. It took me something like, I bought it the day before everything locked down. So I had to wait 6 weeks to go back to the shop to find out how to make it work, because I couldn't get it to work.
Oh boy.
But very quickly, I got a lot of experience. I bought cameras, I bought lights, and by the next school year, I was ready to roll. So I created and totally re-engineered my program from a live event into a live stream interactive educational experience, and it just flew. So sometimes what I'm really proud of is being able to deal with the adversity and repackage the program and develop it into something new, innovative, and really cool. They love it.
Yeah. And again, I think that's one of your strongest points. The creativity, the courage, the curiosity, the energy, when you want to do something, when you want to achieve something, you do it. And you don't take no for an answer. So once again, I fully believe that the world needs more people like you, especially working in the educational sector, doing such tremendous, positive, uplifting work. So thank you so much for doing what you do. And how can people reach out to you? Is it LinkedIn? Is it your webpage? What's the best way to get in contact?
Well, of course, I'm on LinkedIn. So if you go to Raymond Langan, or Raise the Game, or RayseThegame on LinkedIn, or on I'm obviously on Facebook, and then obviously on my own website. So raisethegame.com. And if you're a school principal, guidance counselor, deputy principal, any of those things, please reach out. And obviously a parent as well. I've got lots of stuff there for parents as well. So be delighted to talk to anybody. And thank you for having me here today.
Oh, you're most welcome. We keep in touch, and fingers crossed for your journey.
Thanks, Nat. Take care.